Welcome back. Today we're looking at one of the most expensive and, frankly, frustrating mistakes you can make in solar installations. It all boils down to two hidden numbers that show up on every single solar panel datasheet: VOC and ISC. Now, these might sound like just a bit of dry technical jargon, but misunderstanding them has literally destroyed countless MPPT charge controllers out in the field. So in this explainer, we're going to unpack exactly how to prevent these extremely expensive burnouts by fully mastering these two absolutely crucial specifications.
Okay, let's dive into this. Picture this, an anatomy of a failure for a second. An installer carefully wires up a brand new solar system. You know, they do all the math, they check the panel wattage, and everything looks absolutely perfect on paper. The system hums along beautifully all summer, but then a freezing cold winter morning rolls around, the sun comes up, and suddenly, poof, that perfectly wired array catastrophically destroys the MPPT charge controller. No warning, just dead hardware. So why does that happen? Well, that is exactly the mystery we're solving today.
Here's our roadmap for this explainer. 1. The expensive solar mistake. 2. Voc and Isc explained. 3. The cold weather trap. 4. The controller rating myth. And finally, 5. How to design safely. Okay, let's jump straight into section 1, the expensive solar mistake, controller failures. Listen, when people add solar panels in series or parallel without checking the precise input limits of their equipment, they aren't just risking a blown fuse. That would be an easy fix. Exceeding an MPPT controller's limits causes permanent, complete, catastrophic failure. We are talking about totally destroyed MOSFETs, ruptured capacitors, and literally burnt internal current sensing circuits. This isn't a temporary glitch where you can just hit a reset button. This mistake instantly destroys expensive hardware, sending hundreds or even thousands of dollars straight to the recycling bin.
Moving on to section 2, Voc and Isc explained, core specifications.
Right, so first up is VOC, which stands for open circuit voltage. Imagine your solar panel is just sitting outside in the bright sunlight, totally disconnected from your batteries, your controller, or any loads. There's literally zero current flowing anywhere. If you were to measure the voltage across those positive and negative terminals in that exact isolated moment, that's your VOC. It represents the absolute highest potential voltage that specific panel can possibly produce all on its own. Next, we have ISC, or short circuit current. This is pretty much the exact opposite scenario. This is the absolute maximum current the panel can deliver when the positive and negative wires are directly connected to each other through a meter, which essentially brings the voltage all the way down to zero. Under those very specific short-circuit conditions, the panel is basically pushing out its maximum possible current. So the absolutely crucial point here is how these two numbers behave the second we start wiring panels together. If you wire panels in a series string, the voltages add up, but the current remains totally unchanged. On the flip side, if you wire panels in parallel, the whole thing reverses. Your currents add up, but the voltage stays unchanged. This creates two completely distinct paths of risk for your charge controller, all depending on how you decide to plug your system together. To put that into perspective and show you how incredibly fast this scales up, imagine you have 3 standard solar panels, each with a Voc of 40 volts. If you wire those guys in series, 40 plus 40 plus 40 equals 120 volts. Just like that, your MPPT controller isn't dealing with a harmless 40 volts anymore. It's staring down a massive 120 volt input. If your controller is only rated to handle 100 volts, well, you've literally destroyed it before you even fully turn the system on.
Which brings us to section 3, the cold weather trap, winter voltage spikes.
Now, here's where it gets tricky. The numbers printed on your solar panel datasheet are measured under what engineers call standard test conditions. But let's be real, a pristine laboratory environment is not the real world. You might do a paper calculation that shows your voltage is perfectly safe and comfortably sitting within the MPPT limits, but then reality hits. A freezing winter morning comes along, and suddenly that perfectly safe summer design becomes a deadly winter trap.
Here is the counterintuitive but completely real physics at play. As the ambient temperature falls, solar panel voltage actually rises. It's a fundamental electrical relationship. Remember that 120 volt series string you calculated at standard room temperature? On a freezing, bright winter morning, that actual open circuit voltage is going to spike significantly higher than the printed datasheet value. If you designed your system right at the very edge of your controller's voltage limit, that cold weather voltage rise is going to push it right over the edge, completely exposing the input stage to fatal voltage levels.
Let's look at section 4, the controller reading myth, output versus input. You will hear this assumption everywhere online. Hey, I have a 100 amp MPPT controller, therefore I can naturally connect 100 amps worth of solar panels to it. Honestly, it sounds perfectly logical, right? But it is completely, dangerously incorrect. This one assumption leads so many people to just keep adding multiple parallel strings of panels, constantly inflating that total short circuit current without ever actually checking the input limits of the hardware itself. And this brilliantly illustrates the terrifying difference between the advertised output capacity you see on the box and the actual input survival limits. That big, bold 100 amps printed on the front almost always refers to the battery charging current, the output. But if you dig into the hidden reality of the manufacturer's manual, the maximum PV input current allowed coming from your solar panels might be way, way lower, maybe only 40 amps. And the maximum PV VOC limit is a hard, strict cap, something like 150 volts. The charging current going out and the PV input capability coming in are absolutely not the same specification. If you take away just one single lesson from this entire explainer, make it this one right here. Controllers are usually destroyed by excess voltage from series strings or excess current from parallel strings. They are almost never destroyed by panel wattage alone. Relying solely on a basic wattage calculation is a fatal flaw in solar design. You absolutely have to look at the exact voltage and current limits. Let's wrap this up with Section 5, How to Design Safely, System Checklist.
Professional installers don't even think about total array wattage until they have meticulously checked these 4 highly granular specifications on the controller's datasheet. You literally must verify the maximum PV Voc, the maximum PV input voltage, the maximum PV ISC, and the maximum PV input current. Your array design has to respect every single one of these limits simultaneously, no exceptions. Let's see how this builds into a truly bulletproof setup checklist. Step 1. Actually read the manual and check those exact MPPT input limits we just talked about. Step 2. Calculate your total series VOC by adding up the voltage of the panels in your string. Step 3. Calculate your total parallel ISC by adding up the currents of every string you are tying together. And finally, Step 4. Account for that winter temperature voltage rise. If your series voltage is anywhere near the controller's maximum limit, you have got to calculate that cold weather spike to guarantee it will remain safely under the cap on the absolute coldest day of the year.
Look, electrical components might survive briefly outside the ratings, but eventually, the math always catches up with you. So I'll leave you with this question. Is your current solar array actually designed to survive the coldest, harshest winter morning? Or is it just surviving a sunny summer afternoon on paper? Do yourself a favor. Go double-check those datasheets, respect your VOC and ISC limits, and ensure your system is going to run safely for years to come.